ain't here just to pay bills and drink beer and watch TV. You were sent here to do something within a certain amount of time, and you don't have forever to do it. I don't want to die wishing I could stay alive. I want to die like the Apostle Paul when he said, I have finished my course. Come on, say amen. See, that's why I like time. Time allows you to get rid of what you're experiencing. It keeps pushing it back into history so you can live in the future in a different life.
Welcome to the Legacy of Purpose with Miles Jr. and Charissa. My sister and I have been working really hard to bring our Father's message back to you guys. So thank you for tuning in.
We don't take it lightly or for granted that you're taking your time to hang out with us and get to know us better as we share our dad's most powerful teaching. So my brother posted on social media pages that you all could ask us anything. And let me tell you some of those questions.
Yeah, they were ridiculous, some of them. But we're going to try our best to answer them anyway. Well, we've heard you, so we've decided to start the show with a brief question and answer period. So here goes. Victory is her name on Instagram. She asked, if we didn't know your name, describe Miles and Charissa in one word. I'll let you go first.
I like to say motivated. I am a motivator, but not only do I motivate others, I can easily motivate myself to do whatever it is I put myself, my mind and my heart to do. So motivated for me. What about you?
I think I'm real. You know, I look at life as a reality now. You know, since my parents passed, or our parents passed, everything has become a bit more real to me, and I take time to appreciate everything and everyone that is in my life. So it's a bit more real for me now.
Okay, here's another one. It's simple enough. We get this often as well. It's from Margaret1090 on Instagram. Before your parents passed, what was your personal plan for your lives as individuals? And did you have to put aside that plan to keep your parents' legacy alive?
That's a very good question. I think for me, I always thought that the purpose for my life was surrounded by my father and my mother and what they were doing. And when they passed, I mean, obviously it was a shock for me, and it kind of changed my entire perception of what my purpose was. So now I'm kind of rethinking, reorganizing, restructuring my life, you know, on a personal level. I'm starting to realize exactly what my purpose is. So yes, it is a big change, but I think it's something that we're dealing with really well.
And you know, before mom and dad died, I was working with them already in the ministry. So, you know, I knew that whatever I was supposed to do was already linked to the vision of the family and the vision of the ministry, along with what I do as a social worker. I've made the decision to, you know, whatever it takes, whatever I need to do to keep this legacy alive and keep it building and growing, I'm gonna do.
Here's another one we get a lot from Akachi Paul on Facebook. So Akachi asks, would you both like to mentor me? That's a great question, Akachi. And you know, we get this question a lot about mentoring. Our dad focused a lot on people and mentoring people, so much so that the mission of our organization is to transform followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change. So, you know, my dad had a mentoring program that was really successful, and he was able to connect with and mentor a lot of individuals around the world through this program. So that's something that we are working on, we're restructuring, and we want to bring back to you guys. Along with everyone that my dad has mentored before, you know, we want to bring them into the fold. So it's not just my sister and I mentoring you, but it's a collective of all of my father's mentees. I think we have time for one more from Joseph CK on Facebook. Does BFMI still exist? Yes, BFMI, Bahamas Faith Ministries International, it does exist. It's our local church in Nassau, Bahamas that my father founded. Right now, it's being pastored by David Burrows, who was also a founder of the church and a mentee of my father. And the church is doing really, really well. You know, going through what we ran through for the past couple of years now, I think a lot of folks may have thought that we wouldn't have been able to make it through. But, you know, the church is thriving. We're doing really, really well in Nassau, Bahamas.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's all the time we have for questions today.
Well, each week, we'll take a moment to answer questions. So if you didn't get a chance to hear your question answered today, just keep tuning in. You can ask your questions in the comment section of our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. And now for our first episode of The Legacy of Purpose. We invite you to join us in watching our dad from a New Year's Eve taping that he did in 2013. You know, the power of this message, I feel, for me at least, it centers around planning and change. You know, the only constant in life is change, and change is something that everyone experiences. So the key is to be ready for whatever change you're about to experience so that you'll be able to adapt to it. So we recognize that this message is timeless, and we would like you to enjoy and learn as much as you can from this message. Let's watch.
I want you to write this down. The power of planning. The power of planning and change. The power of planning and change. I want to focus for a few minutes on understanding the principle of planning and preparation and how that relates to strategic thinking. We got young people here tonight. You are very important to me. If you are below the age of 25, you are very important for next year. If you are between the age of 25 and 40, I want you to brace yourself for massive change. If you're over the age of 40, you're going to learn that the things that you thought were settled are going to be shaken. Not in a negative way, in a positive way. I want you to write this down. The two powers in life. There are two powers in life that every one of us have to deal with every day. The two powers in life that you can never control or stop is time and change. You cannot control time. You cannot control change. Secondly, the two most difficult components in life to manage is time and change. Whether you like it or not, the new year is coming. Thirdly, a man's life consists in how he managed and used time and change. We become what we are as a result of how we use time and how we manage the changes in our lives. You are a product of those two things. And therefore, the fourth point is very important. The key to your future is the successful management of time and change. You can't stop time. You can't stop change. So all you can do with them is manage them. And you become what you are based on how you manage both of them. I want to simplify life for you tonight. You are simply a product of how you use your time and how you manage the changes you've been through so far. And what you become in 10 years from now will be a result of how you manage the time and the changes. So when we talk about time, let's talk about time by itself for a minute. Time is an amazing power. Every day, week, month, or year is a gift given to us by God. And that gift is given to us to fulfill an assignment. That means that you were sent to earth to complete a task and to fulfill a specific purpose, but you were sent to do it by God within a certain amount of time. So you don't have forever to fulfill your assignment. This is important. You were sent to earth to do something, and you were given a certain amount of time to do it in. So you don't have the luxury of experimenting. And this is the Bible calls a burden. As a matter of fact, the passing of time, and I wrote this from my spirit, the passing of time makes you accountable to God. So the next time you tell somebody Happy New Year, pause and ask, what did I do with it? What did I do with the year that just passed? How much of it did I waste watching television? Being with people who had no interest in success? Being involved in habits that didn't improve my life or my body? What did I spend that year on? We are accountable to God. Why? He gave us a gift. And so when we think of time, I want to read a verse from the book of Job, chapter 14 rather, verse 5. Now, this is a verse you must remember all your life. It says, man's days are determined. That means you don't decide how long you live. Your life is on a timer. The next verse statement says, you have decreed the number of his months and have set limits he cannot exceed. Have you noticed that at the end of years, suddenly, a lot of people start dying? There are people who spend Christmas weeping. And sometimes the people who die had no sickness or no tragic situation. Some of them would be playing basketball and die. They'd be playing tennis or in the garden. It's as if you're supposed to die before the next year. I always believe that there's a quota. That verse says, he sets limits that you cannot exceed. So Job says, look away from us, God, and leave us alone until we have put in our time. Like what? A punch clock. You came to earth, you were born at a certain time, and you only got a certain time to do what you're supposed to do and leave. And let me say this, being old doesn't mean that you are blessed. Because if being old means that you are blessed by God, then Jesus was cursed.
Oh, that was amazing. You know, sometimes we think that wisdom comes with age. You know, I find myself sometimes being the wisest person in a room, and I'm not necessarily the oldest person in the room. I learned quickly that age is pretty much irrelevant. You know, I find myself, like I said, being wiser than other people around me, just because, you know, I take time to notice what's going on, who's around, what they're saying, and just trying to learn everything that I can in every situation that we're given.
And it's funny, you know, we're talking about age and purpose, because when you think about it, Jesus was my age when he finished his purpose and died. And here I am, 33, and to me, I think I'm now just about to start really working on what I was born to do. And so it's really not about age. It's about what I was predestined to do. And I think now is our time.
Yeah, good point. So let's continue watching this message from my dad.
But he didn't die sick. He used is finished. He died because he had completed his assignment within the time. Some of you have come to this meeting tonight and you can't wait to go to Junkanoo. And God sent you here to tell you, stop a minute. Stop, hold it right here, young man. Stop this, woman. What are you doing with another year? Your months are numbered. You wonder why I work so hard in my life? Why I try to do so much in one day? Because I am on a collision course with my month. Whenever that month is, I want that month to be embarrassed. I don't want to die wishing I could stay alive. I want to die like the Apostle Paul when he said, I have finished my course. Why are you here tonight in this watch night service, your annual service? What are you doing here? Are you afraid that God might come at 12? Or are you here because God sent you here to get your life sorted out, to get your priorities back in order, to help you understand that you ain't here just to pay bills and drink beer and watch TV. You were sent here to do something within a certain amount of time, and you don't have forever to do it. This is so important. Ladies and gentlemen, I am always concerned about people who say, I am 90 years old. Let me tell you something about age. There's a man in the Bible who was 969 years old. And the only thing we know about this man, it says he died. Leave us alone, God. Let us put in our time. What a statement. Now, please write this down. Remember this. Every new year is a chapter. It's a chapter in your man's book of how well we manage time and change. That's what a year is. It's a chapter. You close it and you ask yourself, how did I do? You know, last year, I wrote 2 books. I got them out of me. They are now books of last year. They went to 112 countries. They are in 68 languages. I labored all night to write them, nights after nights. I said, I gotta get them out before the next year. I did it. While you were sleeping, I was working. How did you do this year? We look so much with excitement toward a new year, and the question is, what happened to the last one? Make a note of this. Time and change are the raw materials of life. Time and change are materials. These are 2 things you can't stop, and they keep moving. They keep happening, and they build your life. Time and change are building blocks. In other words, time and change are the only commodities in life that every human have in common. All of us are given 24 hours every day, and all of us are subject to change every day. So no one is better or less when it comes to time and change. You become what you are by how you use your 24. So every new year is an opportunity given to you by destiny to improve your management of time and change. I want you to make a decision tonight that 2013, I'm talking to you, 2013 will be a year that you become a professional manager of your time and your changes. I want to encourage you, please, stop wasting time. I was thinking about how God created time. Let's remember this. Time was created by God, But here's the problem. God created time, put you in it, but he doesn't live in it. That makes that relationship very dangerous. Where does God live? He lives in forever, in eternity. So when God speaks to you, you must be very careful. If he tells you, I'm going to see you tomorrow, that could be 1,000 years. So I've learned to be very patient with God's promises, because the Bible says a day with the Lord could be 1,000 years. Because he doesn't live in time. And because he doesn't live in time, therefore, he has placed us in time so that we could put his kingdom in time out of eternity. He wanted to extend his invisible kingdom to the visible world. So he put us in time so that eternity could come into time. We were sent into time so that time could know what eternity looks like. Christ says, when you pray, don't pray to go to heaven. Heaven is in eternity. He said, pray like this: Our Father who is in heaven, the eternal country, thy kingdom come and thy will be done on earth, which is in time. He wants time to experience eternity. So he took us out of eternity, put us in an earth suit, and put us in time so that time could experience what we are like without our suits. You are not a physical creature trying to have a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual creature having a physical experience. I am a spirit. You can't see me, but I live in this body. And I was sent from my country called heaven. And my country sent me to reveal its culture to time. And he gave me an assignment out of the unseen. Matter of fact, let's read where God created time. It says, and God said, let there be lights in the heavens and the sky to separate the day from the night, and to let them serve as signs to mark seasons and days and years. God created seasons, days, and years. So when we tell someone New Year, you're talking about God's material. God created days and years, and he says, let them be lights in the expanse of the sky to give light to earth. And it was so. And God says, this is good. Days are good. Years are good. I thank God for days and years. If you had to live in eternity, it'll be a tough place to live. Because whatever happened in that place would be eternal. For example, if you had a headache in eternity, it would be an eternal headache. If you got divorced in eternity, the pain would last forever. God blessed us when he put us in time so that we can have days and months. So you can say that the pain was yesterday. I was broke last month. Come on, say amen. See, that's why I like time. Time allows you to get rid of what you're experiencing. It keeps pushing it back into history so you can live in the future in a different life. In a few minutes, we're about to leave a year. For some of you, it was hell on earth. But the good news is, in a few minutes, you'll be able to tell everybody that was last year. Give God a time clap. Whatever you went through is being pushed into history. And you are being pulled into a future that hasn't been touched yet.
To order today's complete message in a 4-part CD or DVD set for your love gift of $50 or more, please visit our website, monroeglobal.com, or call the number on your screen. Or for your love gift of $150 or more, you can get today's package deal, which includes the Power of Planning and Change 13-part CD or DVD set, plus the accompanying books, Overcoming Crisis and the Principles and Benefits of Change. Call the number on your screen today. Our team is standing by to assist you.
5 years ago, even just 2 years ago, I had a totally different perception of life, a totally different outlook on life. Before Mom died, I thought they would be with me up until I died. But clearly God had a totally different plan for me. I never thought that I would be sitting here or speaking in front of large crowds, but God knew what he was doing. And so I hope today's message touched you and inspired you to make some change in your life. Our prayer is that today you will not wait, but you will order a copy of this DVD and CD and continue to grow with God.
Hi, this is Miles Jr., and I'm here with my sister Charissa. We're currently in Israel, Caesarea to be exact. And this is the location where King Herod the Great built one of his beautiful palaces overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. As you know, our parents have been traveling to the Holy Land for over 30 years, bringing groups with them to experience the people, the culture, and the land where our faith was born.
Maybe you wanted to join us before, but couldn't. Maybe you planned on joining us this year, but didn't. But don't miss out on joining my brother and I in 2017, June 5th to June 15th, for your personal Holy Land experience. Don't come alone. Tell a friend to come with you. Click on the link below and start planning now.
Shalom from the Holy Land. We'll see you next year.
Mind over matter. Have you ever felt physically tired but mentally wired? Physically drained but mentally ready for anything? Yes, we all have at some point or the other. You make yourself get up every morning to go to work, or you force yourself to go to that class every night at that university, or you carry your exhausted body to the gym first thing in the morning or right after work. But whether you realize it or not, you do all this in the name of purpose, for a purpose. Purpose breeds energy, and it's the control center of life. Purpose does not care about the matter at hand or the state of your physical climate. Purpose sets your mind on a disciplinary course that does not waver at any cost. Now is the time to set your mind on goals to achieve, discover your reason for existence, and push through, never to give up until it is finished.